It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Oh, no. No, the Baltimore Ravens thought they were going to get away with it. The SHADY, they all thought, oh, nobody will ever talk about this. Come on. This won't be a thing. They'll never see it coming. Here's what we'll do. We'll go get Max Crosby. And then we'll realize, wait a second, we could just get Trey Hendrickson. And then when we realize that instead of getting Max Crosby, we could just have Trey Hendrickson, we will say that the guy who tore his meniscus has a bad knee, and then we'll drop the trade, keep our picks. The Raiders will be in a terrible cap space and have to restructure a bunch of veteran contracts. Vegas will explode. We won't have to ship off 2 first-round picks. And we get Trey Hendrickson. And no one will ever know that it was a little bit shady. Hi, everybody. It is the Drake Toll Show. I'm Drake Toll from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. This is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. You can call or text the show every day, 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. Question of the day today is what Baltimore just did. The timeline of events, what we've been told about the timeline of events, is what Baltimore just pulled off a heist. Did the Ravens just effectively bury themselves as it pertains to other franchises, other GMs looking to them for a trade or for a handshake that could, hold its weight? This is a bad look. Because the smokescreen of the failed physical, the rug pull of the trade with Las Vegas, one day I'll get it. That was already enough to look bad. You get cold feet, and then NFL insiders reporting that other GMs and owners are furious. Front office is furious with Baltimore. Because in the middle of that, you find out that they were talking to Trey Hendrickson. Here's what Adam Schefter had to say on ESPN about Max Crosby's MRI scan that started this whole thing 48 hours ago. Yeah, we'll get the as fast as possible audio ready to rock. As the Ravens said, that DeCosta's gutted that Crosby's trade fell through. 5-time Pro Bowler. Max Crosby could have given a lot to Baltimore. And as we know, guys with knee problems doesn't always mean that you have to completely blacklist them from your NFL franchise. Guys who had a knee surgery or a surgery that you've traded for, you should probably expect to not have a perfect ligament, to not be unscathed in the approach, not to be unscathed after they have their MRIs or after they're undergoing a physical. There is also a piece of this, the Dallas Cowboys team doctor, team surgeon, anybody that tears, if you tear your ACL in the state of Texas, if you tear your ACL and you've ever stepped foot in the state of Texas, Dr. Cooper's the guy you see. And same guy, surgery on Patrick Mahomes, repaired his ACL. Same guy that did surgery on my sister 8 months ago, was the one who helped evaluate Max Crosby and perform his physical. There were comments yesterday of, is this a ploy from Dallas to try to blow the whole thing up and backdoor their way into Max Crosby? And I do not think that is the case. Dr. Cooper is one of the best that has ever done it in the National Football League. And anybody who is anybody that tears something goes to Dr. Cooper. No tampering from the Dallas Cowboys in this one. But it looked weird. Everything about this just looked weird yesterday when it came up. everything about this story didn't seem right because it felt unheard of for a trade to drop at the 11th hour like this. You knew where you were standing. You knew where you were when the Baltimore Ravens no longer were picking up Max Crosby from the Raiders. And the weird only got weirder with Trey Hendrickson now signing with Baltimore. Here is the Baltimore Ravens' Eric DeCosta on his concerns surrounding the Ravens' reputation after pulling out of the Max Crosby deal.
Well, it hasn't stopped my phone from ringing. I'll tell you that. I think our relationship with agents and with other teams is really, really good. I understand the question. I think that GMs understand the importance of getting as much information as possible before making decisions. And I would say that most agents would say that myself, George, Nick, Mark Acevedo, Ozzie, Sashi, everybody that works with agents would say that we're a class organization that does business the right way, respectful, and willing to get deals done.
I don't know if that's the case. I would like to think that of Eric DeCosta with the Ravens, but I'm not hearing that from high-level reporters out of the NFL. I am hearing that agents, GMs, other franchises across America aren't willing to talk to you and aren't happy with you from what you did here. That you've effectively broken the trust of the league for the time being in any other deal you're trying to make with another team. They don't know that they can trust Baltimore. And what just happened to Vegas is that when Max Crosby was sent east, they saved enough money to make some splash signings in free agency. And the Raiders have. Problem is they've gone over the cap. So now that Max Crosby is back and they have to resorb his contract, it means that Vegas has to restructure a bunch of stuff and try to move puzzle pieces around to save money and not be over the cap. You don't want to be that franchise. If I'm Miami and I'm trying to rebuild, it's a very finicky thing. One misstep and it all falls apart. If I'm Miami and I'm trying to rebuild, do I want to trade with Baltimore? Not really. Because I was just Vegas and I was trying to rebuild, and trading with Baltimore blew up in my face. If I'm Arizona, I'm a couple years away. I'm the Jets. I'm the Browns, a couple years away. Trying to restart the whole thing. Maybe we'll get there. Come on, fingers crossed. Do I want to help build my franchise out with anybody from Baltimore or with anything to do with Baltimore? Not after this. Here's what Max Schefter had to say. We have the audio now on the MRI scan during the physical for Max Crosby.
This is a highly unusual circumstance that will create enormous ripple effects, and nobody knows how it will turn out now. Whether Max Crosby will wind up playing in Vegas, whether the Raiders will trade him, what the return in a trade for him will be, but no question that this is a setback for all involved right now, because the Baltimore Ravens essentially failed him on their physical. And my understanding is there were multiple doctors that reviewed his MRI scans. There were doctors that examined him, including Dr. Daniel Cooper, the Dallas Cowboys doctor that performed surgery on Patrick Mahomes and Malik Neighbors. Many teams and players rely on Dr. Cooper's expertise. And Dr. Cooper was one of the doctors that reviewed the images where the Ravens then felt compelled to back out of this trade. So there are a whole host of ramifications. Moments ago, Max Crosby's agent, C.J. LeBoy, issued a statement that Max Crosby is doing great. He'll be back better than ever, and he'll be the game wrecker. But meanwhile, the Raiders have Max Crosby back in their possession. The Ravens need to move on, and Max Crosby now needs to figure out where he's going to be playing in 2026 as he continues to recover from what was said to be a significant knee injury.
That is Adam Schefter with ESPN. Look, Crosby has handled this from a social media standpoint, a PR standpoint, really well. it would be easy to lash out. I told you yesterday, you have to remember the human side of stories like these, because oftentimes you see a trade, you hear tell of this, a trade falls through, and you think, oh man, the monumental piece of this is whether or not my team's good, whether or not the NFL has a new contender or an old contender or team's tanking. You start thinking about the organizations, the franchises. What about the people? I mean, these are real dudes. Max Crosby went to Baltimore for 3 days and was house hunting. I like this one. Let's bang, close on it. Oh, hey, I love this. My new favorite coffee shop in town. Bang, dump that. Hey, well, we can have an apartment close to the stadium, walking distance. That way, the practice right by the practice facility, so we're good to go. Bang, can that. This is a real human guy who, for 3 days, thought he was moving to Baltimore and was in town, hanging out, finding his new routine, saying goodbye to Vegas. And when I say he's handled it really well, he took to social media. It's like, I'm a Raider. Cool. If this is what happens, there's no time to, can't play for, I don't want to play for Las Vegas. I have to go somewhere else. Not playing for this team again. Nope. That's not the approach. I'm Max Crosby. I want to play football, and I'll play football for the Raiders. I'm a Raider. Now, that's a odd, weird kick in the pants. I don't know how I would react if I got traded to a different radio station. And then you come back. Like, all right, you just tried to trade me, and I had asked for that too, but okay. You know what? Weird enough of a circumstance, weird enough of a scenario. You don't know what you got until it's gone. After 72 hours, Crosby, I think there's a piece of this where you realize as a human, there's nothing else I can do. Very good chance if I'm playing football in the National Football League next year, it's for the Raiders. So you know what? Fine. I'll buy in. At this point, fine. Whatever it takes to win. If we're finally out of tank mode, if we're the Raiders and we finally want to win, no more Pete Carroll experiment, no more Geno Smith at quarterback. If we want the number 1 overall pick to be Fernando Mendoza, we want to make splash free agent signings and win, then Max Crosby can contribute to that in Vegas. And Max Crosby, I think, would be a perfectly fine asset for the Raiders if they can get along. In helping Las Vegas prove that the rebuild is over and this is the year they contend. This is the year they compete. That is, I think, having Max Crosby, a bought-in Max Crosby, can only behoove you. And I still, DaCosta, his 20 minutes he sat down with the media saying, I understand how people might, maybe from far, would feel like we had buyer's remorse. But DaCosta said, no one's more upset about this Max Crosby trade falling through than me. Gutted by it, actually. And so a big regret for me. But we will move on as a football team. I don't think so. I think Baltimore got cold feet, wanted those picks back, and found out, Trey Hendrickson, we can get Trey Hendrickson for maybe a little less long-term money than paying for Max Crosby. And overall, it'll be less of a headache for us. So why don't we just go do that? We don't want to give you the picks anymore. So the only way we can back out of that is to say we're not giving you the picks anymore. And this trade's falling through because Max Crosby's meniscus is not perfectly intact. Mostly because Max Crosby had surgery on his meniscus. And Baltimore knew that coming into the physical. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter. Hey, Bradley Chubb to the Bills, huh? That's gonna be a little contending piece for the Buffalo Bills. Osa Odigizua from the Cowboys to the 49ers for a third-round pick. What are the Cowboys doing, and why do they continue to offload defensive tackles? Oh, hey, A.J. DeBonsa, the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft. He did more A.J. DeBonsing last night as college basketball and the conference tournaments roll on. All of that and more today. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Oh, and the United States backdoored their way into the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic. It's a good Thursday. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Chaos. The Ravens backed out of their trade
touch yourself, touch yourself, touch yourself, touch yourself.
Bananas.
Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports. The Westwood One Sports app.
This is Westwood.
Yes, it's Westwood One Sports. Addy Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Good morning. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. yesterday. And today. Yesterday? Yeah, I mean, true, I guess. Yesterday, I listened to an entire day of Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Not that I wouldn't usually, but my phone has been exploding off and on for probably 4 weeks. It will just turn on and then off randomly and then won't turn back on for hours. So I don't know what's going on there. I should go to the AT&T store, but I have been too lazy to do so for the last 3 weeks. And that was part of my story. And as a piece of that, Addie, where was I going with this?
You were listening to Westwood One the whole time?
Yeah. So as a piece of this, I was like, I can't, access the Odyssey app. But I remember with my new vehicle, I have Sirius XM. So I listened to Bleck and Abdallah. I listened to Nick Costos. I listened to Jim Rome yesterday. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's pretty wild. You were having a crazy day.
And you know what I heard?
Jim Rome?
No, I heard, what? And I heard,
do they all have like the same drops that we do?
100%. I heard, woo.
Every show on the network leaves with one of those things, so you're going to hear one of them no matter what.
Yeah. I guess I didn't realize that every single program we have that I would hear, woo, or any of the Westwood One drop. Yeah.
What about a bonk, though? Do they have a bonk?
I heard zero bonks across the network outside of our show.
Sounds about right.
That's a problem. That's a problem, actually.
I'm serious,
Curtis,
but they're
get
not
on that.
patrolling. The bonk it's an air of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
It's the accountability bonk. And it brings a it's basically the fourth character of this show. There's Curtis, the looks, Addie, the brains. I guess I have to be the voice. And the bonk just kind of brings it all together. Thank you, Curtis.
Yeah, when the people in the chat are saying bring on the hot producer, they do mean Curtis Poindexter.
It is pretty awesome that we have live fan feedback via YouTube with the Drake Toll
Yeah,
Show.
yeah. It has its moments.
Yeah, but they built a little biome in there. They have a little community.
Oh, I get so excited to talk to all of them. Right now they were talking about how Drunkle Sam didn't know you can't put a frozen pizza in the microwave.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So we're offering feedback.
Oh, that's
This
good.
is what you get at the Drake Toll Show, okay? You get feedback on how to cook a pizza.
Addie, what are your thoughts on this whole Max Crosby deal? Are the Ravens, should we never trust them ever again?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, don't. It's so funny. It even, let's say they're like, oh, that's not what happened. It's a little too convenient that you realize, oh, nobody's really wanting Trey Hendrickson. So let's keep our draft picks. Say there's something wrong with Max, which was known his injuries in the past. Yeah, I wouldn't make a deal with the Ravens probably for the rest of my life. Not that I would ever be given that opportunity, but
yeah,
if
were you considering a deal with the Ravens this week?
So yesterday I flew out of Baltimore, right? And I was sitting there in the airport with my little airport beer.
Hold on, you flew out of Baltimore?
Yeah.
Why not DCA or any of those guys?
Because I could take a 30-minute train to Baltimore for $6, and then the flights were $100 cheaper.
Yep, un tren. Gotcha.
And I was thinking, is Max Crosby here? And if he was, what would I say to him? I was thinking this. I was like, so what's wrong with your knee? I think I would have asked, straight up, what's going on here? You full of crap? Be honest.
He is a full tatted up guy too, by the way. So is that why you would approach him?
Yeah. I mean.
Yep, there it is. There it is. Glad to know that if you would have seen Max Crosby on the train or in the airport, that you would have approached him and just, hey, big guy, it'll all be okay.
Yeah, that's actually my opening line for sure. Hey, big guy.
It's all right.
It'll all be okay.
One of my favorite Reddit posts of all time is the pizza story. You heard the pizza story?
No.
In my junior year of high school, this guy asked me on a date. He rented a Redbox movie and made a pizza. We were watching the movie, and the oven beeped, so the pizza was done. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "This is the worst part." Then I watched this man open the oven and pull the pizza out with his bare hands, rack and all, screaming pretty aggressively. We didn't have a second date. This is the worst.
Mitts?
This is the worst part.
We couldn't even maybe use a T-shirt.
It gets me every. This is the worst part. He hears the oven beep and he's like, "Oh, I gotta do it again. I gotta do it." That's so good.
I went on a date with someone who couldn't open a bottle of wine with the thing, so he cut his hand open at my place because he couldn't figure out how to open the bottle of wine.
How do you cut your hand open?
Because he.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Proceeded to see this man for 10 months, but I did think, wow, this guy's an idiot. This guy's an idiot.
Yeah, if you can't use it, I have an electric one now, a bottle opener topper thing. I don't know what the.
Oh.
Don't.
Oh, electric topper.
Yep, no doubt. The Dallas Cowboys, Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, have turned their interior defensive line into nothing. Goodbye to Osa Odigizua. He is gone now, and that is maybe the most baffling move yet. So for me, as a proclaimed Cowboy fan, a guy who lived in Texas, yours truly, for 5 years, came to know and love the franchise. All of my roommates in college at Baylor University in Waco, Texas, they loved the Dallas Cowboys. We would go to games and watch the Dallas Cowboys play. And no matter what happened the last few seasons, win or lose, the fun piece of being a Cowboys fan was Osa Odigizua. Because he would make a tackle and you'd say, Odigizua. And it felt right. Felt good. Dudes rocked again. And look, man, the Cowboys were defensively about as embarrassing as you can get for a football team. The worst part is it's not like the Cowboys were 2-15, and you can almost justify having the worst defense in the league. Oh, we know they're bad because they want to be bad, but the Cowboys won games. They finished 8-9. The Cowboys won games, so it was kind of hard to hide them having the worst defense in the league. But Osa Odigizua was consistently a bright spot. And not necessarily a ultimate Dallas star, but a fan favorite. By Dallas star, you mean like a Dak or a Tony Romo, a Luka, a Dirk. Guys like Romo who aren't necessarily high up on the list on the national scene, but they can't walk anywhere in Dallas without being swarmed. That was an Osa Odigizua. He was a Dallas Cowboy. And now he's a San Francisco 49er. The Cowboys receive a 2026 third-round pick. And this is an abrupt about-face. A year ago, Odigizua, 4-year, $80 million extension. Again, remember, the good guy across Dallas. Cowboys fans love him. He plays well. But by trading him, they'll swallow $16 million in a dead cap hit just to get the rest of his salary off the books. And for the 49ers, they actually had the league low in sacks last season. Who can they pair with Nick Bosa? How about a guy in Osa with 52 pressures last season? Now, why are the Cowboys doing this? Christian Parker, why are the Cowboys on what feels like kind of a defensive overhaul? There's either a strategy here or an extreme lack thereof. Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams. In the last 6 months, the Cowboys have made moves. on the defensive line. And both of those guys, Clark, Williams, will need pretty big extensions. Osa Odigizua, the odd man out. And the Cowboys restructured CD, Dak Prescott, Tyler Smith. They freed up $66 million to try to compete and contend. And the Cowboys were over the cap by not much, $300,000 before the Osa trade. So they traded a Pro Bowl caliber starter for a third rounder, in essence, to stay solvent. And for the Cowboys, I defensively, you needed an overhaul. And a couple of the casualties that come out of this will be names like Osa Odigizua, who fans like, and who has been a great Dallas Cowboy. PJ Locke, Jalen Thompson. The Dallas Cowboys. From the worst defense in the National Football League to a slightly better defense in the National Football League, 2025 to 2026. Coming to a football stadium near you. So that is a mix of financial necessity for the Cowboys, and I think what is actually a philosophical shift in the defense of the franchise. Does it equate to wins? Can't say that confidently yet. The Buffalo Bills, Bradley Chubb. Ho, ho, ho. This is a trade. This is a pickup that gets me going. It gets me thinking. Uh-oh. If Buffalo said, hey, we get the embarrassment of what happened with Sean McDermott, and all of you guys were so mad. Everybody here want to be mad at Brandon Beane. Well, you know what? What if I go get a shiny new Bradley Chubb to add to the Buffalo Bills? What if I get a head coach in Joe Brady who goes to the podium and says all the right things? Every media appearance, he has just been top-notch. What if after you, the fans, a month and a half post anger, distrust, and a distaste for the embarrassment that was the front office of the Buffalo Bills during the firing of McDermott? Remember when the owner and the GM are in the same room in the same press conference? Owner says, hey, our GM didn't ever want to draft that guy, that Keon Coleman kid, only to find out that that was the opposite of the case. It just looked bad. The whole thing looked bad. And in the wake of that, Brandon Beane needed a save face, save the franchise's look around Buffalo. And they have. They have again. And I think the Bills will slowly but surely this offseason into early next season become that preseason Super Bowl favorite. Josh Allen at quarterback. And now Bradley Chubb on the defense, hanging out with Terrell Bernard in a 3-4 Jim Leonard scheme with a 3-4 Chubb, who is a natural outside linebacker. That is dangerous. And Chubb was forced out of Miami. He is like kind of a salary cap casualty. Remember, they're paying a ton of money for Tua Tagovailoa, which is just bad. And the Dolphins do not expect to win for the next 2 years. Now Chubb can compete for a contending franchise in Buffalo. And Chubb, a 10.5% pressure rate last year, 8.5 sacks, is going to add another piece to that Bills defense that will continue to tie it down. Now, they're paying him a lot of money. It's the 17th largest edge contract the NFL's seen. Total value of $43.5 million and a max value of $52.5 million. That's the question I ask a lot during free agency. Like, yeah, I get paying. You have to pay money for these guys for sure. But some of these dudes just, that's a lot of money for a guy that now you have to put your trust and faith in. Double time due to the size of that check. We come back. Biggest losers of the day. Why is the Big Ten, the entire Big Ten, a big loser? You'll want to know. This, call or text 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. is the Drake Toll Show.
See clear as the light of day. Running on curves cause I'm out of luck, and I'm tucking my tail and running away. I'd rather face the good God Almighty, good God Almighty, have mercy on me. When it comes across in the good godly woman, that just scares the devil right out of me. Seemed so well. Walking a line never made much sense, cause this good godly woman is battling hell. I'd rather face the good God Almighty, good God Almighty, have mercy on me. When it comes across in the good godly woman, that just scares the devil right out of me.
I've seen men look at her before and they think I don't see. I'd like to think it makes me proud, but I'm only fooling me. I know she'll be looking back the minute I'm not there. while she pours herself on some stranger. I poured myself a drink somewhere. She's acting single, I'm drinking double.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. Thanks for being here. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. every single day. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. I don't think I like daylight savings time. Can I say that? Am I allowed to say that? FCC-wise? Am I good?
I don't know if anyone likes daylight savings time.
Why is it dark outside still?
Where I am, it's 5:42, so.
Yeah, but, there got to a point a week ago where at 6:42 Eastern time, the sun would at least be a little up. And now it's not.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Well, at least like later in the day, the sun's out longer. Like you're not like some people get out of work at like 5 p.m. and it's not dark out anymore.
Yeah. Circadian rhythm, which is what they called me in high school, is, here he comes, big circadian rhythm. I'm just walking down the hallway.
Oh, yeah, here he comes.
I only learned probably 3 months ago what circadian rhythm is. Still don't know if I completely understand it, but I think mine is off. Mine is not on. Someone turned my circadian rhythm off because I hate that I can't see the sun.
Well, you're in a shed.
Yeah, but there are windows everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, there are like 4 separate windows in here. Also, I lived in Alaska for 4 months one time, and it was during the summer months, and the sun just never went down. So you just always had the sun.
Whoa.
You don't. It's fine.
That's crazy.
You don't have to see. It's fine. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to seem amused.
You know.
It's time for our biggest losers of the day. Thanks, Curtis. Biggest losers. Mexico? Gone from the World Baseball Classic. Mexico. If only they had beaten Italy 4-3 yesterday, Mexico would have gone to the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic. Instead, they got trounced. 9-1 final. Mexico falls. Team USA headed to the quarterfinals, headed to the bracket. Addie, would you like to, on behalf of the Mexican team, comment?
It's like that Beetlejuice video. We tried our best. We tried our best. Yeah, I tried. You don't hear trounced anymore, by the way. I liked that.
Trounced? Yeah, all right.
I liked that. It was a little different.
Did you, are you excited to watch the players for Team Mexico play in the MLB in America?
Of course. I have to support my people. Curtis and I both have to support our people.
I saw a graphic yesterday that said birthplace of every player on the Italian national team. It's like Virginia, New Jersey,
it's in our obituaries.
Florida,
Don't you fear.
Texas.
Don't you fear.
Hey. Yep. Thank you.
A little tease.
Team Italy. Biggest loser of the day, the Big Ten. What are we doing here? I think Tony Petitti, who's their commissioner, is a good commissioner. But on 3 posts, the Big Ten sent a letter to the NCAA urging it to stop punishing schools for tampering and asking for a complete reevaluation of the rules. Hold on, what? The Big Ten Conference asked the NCAA to stop punishing schools for tampering. Because right now, if you remember the whole Pete Golding saga at Ole Miss, where he was calling for the Clemson linebacker who was on campus and in class. Then he offers the Clemson linebacker double what the Tigers wanted to give him. And the guy says, all right, I'm out. I'm going to Ole Miss. When that happened, college football fans turned their eyes to the situation and said, hey, officially we need change. To the point that the President of the United States, the government at the highest level, invited these power players in college football into a room to fix it. And the Big Ten's response is, stop punishing for tampering? What? This is like you're rooting for Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, hey, man, the dude he has his hobbies. Don't punish him. It's incredibly confusing. They addressed it to the president of the NCAA, Charlie Baker, and said, hey, by prohibiting pre-portal communication, athletes are taking risks by entering the transfer portal in the first place. It's part of the issues the conferences see with the current structure in college athletics. All right. Biggest loser, the Baltimore Ravens. Ian Swanson tweets, the Ravens held contract negotiations with edge rusher Trey Hendrickson while Max Crosby was in their facility yesterday. What would now be 2 days ago. Doesn't get much more low class than that. Does look weird. I don't think they were going to sign Crosby and Trey Hendrickson. Or trade for one, sign another. I don't think that was the plan. They may want you to believe that. But the smoke and mirrors. If Bam Adebayo scored 83 points, but no one was around to watch it, did he really score 83 points? If the Ravens were on the phone with edge rusher Trey Hendrickson while Max Crosby was in their facility, was Max Crosby ever really a Baltimore Raven? That is the question. Shady deal, man. Shady deal. I don't think they wanted both. I think they wanted their 2 picks back and realized they were in a much better position with Trey Hendrickson than they thought and said, that's our guy. We don't need Max Crosby. And Crosby's response was, I'm a Raider. And that 13-minute video I posted saying goodbye to Las Vegas, we can ignore that. Sorry, everybody. I'm back. Biggest loser, Jake Paul. Addie, any thoughts on Jake Paul's deodorant choice?
It's just really funny. So he goes at this like Trump rally. They bring him on. He's on stage wearing a tan suit, by the way. Which I don't wear suits, but don't y'all wear like a undershirt and then like a long sleeve and then the jacket? Isn't that how y'all guys wear that?
You would wear a tank top, formerly known as a wife beater. Shouldn't say that. Can't say that anymore because of PETA. So a tank top. So there's nothing in the pitular area as it pertains to a tank top.
You don't wear like a shirt? You don't wear like a just like an undershirt, like a white undershirt?
No, usually like a white tank top.
Ew, gross.
Again, formerly known as a wife beater. Can't say that.
But this man has his own line of deodorant, like antiperspirant. Obviously supposed to stop sweat, and here he is sweating through his suit, jacket.
Not
a good look.
I've never seen sweat like this on a suit. I don't want to encourage people to look to Google Jake Paul sweat, because that could be not really sure what's going to come up with that. But this visual, this is intense. He has, and maybe it's by virtue of a tan suit, but the sweat has pooled up almost to his elbow. It's ever creeping toward his elbow. Good morning. Our biggest winners of the day. Addie Bates, who is in New Orleans, Louisiana. I've never asked why. You were just there for Mardi Gras. Why are you there again?
St. Patrick's Day Parade. It's a big deal. It's a huge deal in New Orleans. It's a huge holiday. So we go to that every year.
What is your infatuation with New Orleans? You're from Texas?
Yeah, but half of my family's from New Orleans. My mother, like that whole side of the family's from New Orleans, so I have a lot of family down here.
So that's what it is?
Yeah, it's like my second home. Like I spent so much time here. I know this city just like my own.
So what am I supposed
And
to eat
it's
this
awesome.
weekend?
I don't know. I could tell you a million different things, and you would still not listen to me.
Okay, I did avoid the place you recommended in Memphis. I did avoid that barbecue
Which
place.
I talked to multiple people about, and they were like, what was he thinking?
I was thinking correct.
No, you went to Memphis, and you're like, I need to spend $100 on Italian food in Memphis, not
such good Italian
authentic
food.
Memphis. Yeah, but like I'm just saying, like you were like, I need to spend $100 on a good meal, which means you've never like, you don't just because it's $100 doesn't mean it's a good meal, by the way.
Well, this one was both $100 and a good meal, so now what?
Yeah, but you didn't even eat like Memphis dry rub ribs. That's what they're known for. That's
Yeah,
like
I
going to
just-
Texas and not eating brisket or Tex-Mex.
That's the thing, is I still think Texas does ribs better. I think Texas does ribs better.
Well,
They
you would
definitely
know.
do
You
brisket
didn't
better.
have them. You didn't have them.
I have had Memphis ribs. I grew up 2 hours from Memphis. That was vacation. On the lean years, we would go to Branson, Missouri.
It's just like you're
On
going to
the
be in
rich-
New
on the
Orleans,
rich
and I know,
years, we'd go to Memphis.
and I know your ass is going to be at like Chick-fil-A.
Why would no? No, because you can't pay
I feel like, hey, go to
$100
this
for a
place
meal
because
at
you can
Chick-fil-A.
get like killer gumbo, or you can go here. It's like early in crawfish season. You can still get good crawfish like at a good price, and you're gonna be like, yeah, but Chick-fil-A. This guy told me to go over
What?
there.
What? And what is? Give me one example to corroborate what you're saying right now. Give me one piece of evidence.
Last week when I told you to go to this historic, and it's historic for its food, not just because of the history of it, but because it's iconic Memphis food, and you go get Italian in Memphis, Tennessee.
It's not like I got Fazoli's here. I was told by 3 people to not go to that barbecue restaurant.
Yes.
Three people.
The owner of the Redbirds.
And then the owner of the Memphis Redbirds said, hey, go to Catherine and Mary. It's an Italian restaurant. Put a reservation in. And I did. Black tie place. It had some of the best. They have an old Italian lady locked up. She's chained up in the back. And she sits there and she just makes dough and noodles all day. I regret nothing. What does it have to, that doesn't mean Chick-fil-A. It means I have taste, class.
No, it just means you're like, I need to spend $100 for it to be a good meal. I'm like, no.
Hell, barbecue's expensive, too.
We've never been to Miss B's in the middle of nowhere, Alabama, where we can get like Southern cooking for cheap. You don't need to spend $100.
We have. My grandma owns a soul food restaurant in Arkansas. Now what? It's not $100.
In Arkansas?
1 minute I want Chick-fil-A, the other minute I want a $100 meal. Make up your mind.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I can give you advice on where to get food down here, and you're gonna be like, no, because I'm not gonna trust you on it, even though my family's from here.
I want to trust the locals. What if I'm told by 3 people in New Orleans, don't go to that place that Addie told you to go to?
I
It's
don't know.
all
I'm your
about trust.
producer.
Who do you
don't
trust?
me.
Who do you
Not
trust?
me,
Addie
obviously.
Bates, biggest winner of the day. She's in New Orleans, Louisiana for post Mardi Gras, St. Patrick's Day. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Addie produces. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Idiot of the day coming up in a little bit. It's the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
better shoot, little sheriff. You might be crawling, got a big load of booze that'll soon be hauling. They run it every night when the whippoorwill's calling. Shoot, little sheriff, 'cause he might be crawling.
It is the Drake Toll Show.
Old Uncle Bill's got a still on a hill.
Westwood One Sports. The Westwood One Sports app. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. It is 7 o'clock Eastern time and 32 seconds on the dot. And you know, I was thinking last night watching Italy and Mexico. What are the parameters for the World Baseball Classic affiliation? Like, can I just play for any team that I want to?
You have to have like a certain amount of family ties with the country.
Is that true? It doesn't. I don't know how true it is.
Yeah. So, like, do you have any family members? Like, are your parents from a different country? Are your grandparents from a different country? You have to have like definitive lineage.
No, my grandparents are Native American, true-blooded Native American. Now what? Why would you accuse me of that?
Okay, so then you'd be for Team USA.
But it would be kind of cool to, so if I had a Puerto Rican aunt that married into the family.
Can make it work.
Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, but I hope people point and laugh at you the way you look.
Playing for Puerto
Put
Rico?
your damn fur coat out there.
Okay. Hey, whoa. Just watching.
The blonde hair, blue eyes, fur coat, Team Puerto Rico.
Watching Team Mexico or Team Italy, I was like, it's just a lot of American guys out there. And I guess I just don't get I've got a buddy of mine who plays for Great Britain. Like, how, why? I don't know. His lineage and his Ancestry.com dates back to Great Britain, so he's just playing.
You don't have any recent family members from a different country?
What do you mean? What? How recent is recent?
Like grandparents, great-grandparents, I think.
No. Dog, they're literally all from Arkansas. They've never left. I'm the only one to ever leave.
The wagon wheels fell off.
Grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. It's all Arkansas. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, dog. We don't branch out. I'm the first person to leave the state. It's growing up. I was one of two that went in my graduating class of 244 to go to college out of state. One of two. I went to Baylor, and Caroline Wagner went to Central Michigan.
Whoa.
What would ever happen to her?
Did you date her while she had a boyfriend?
No, I did not date Caroline Wagner. Her and her boyfriend Daniel were great together, I think.
Were. Until Drake Toll.
Stop. My mom listens to the show. You can't do that.
Hi, Momsy Toll.
She learns things every day that she did not know about.
She's probably like, why is Addie so anti-Arkansas? It's literally just part of the bit. It's just part of the bit. I like Arkansas.
Yep. And all I do is eat Chick-fil-A on the road. Oh, gross. It's time for our obituaries. Dead today. That would be baseball players from Italy. Here is where Italy's starting lineup versus Team USA was born. Jacob Marcy, Michigan. John Birdie, Michigan. Vinny Pascantino. Pascantino? My cousin Vinny.
Yes.
Florida.
Pascantino.
Virginia. Sorry. Dominic Canzoni, Ohio. At least that's an Italian name.
He goes by Canzone, though.
Zach Denzenzo, Ohio. Kyle Teal, New Jersey. Jack Caglione, Florida. Sam Antonacci, Illinois. Dante Nori, Canada. Michael Lorenzen, California. And they all play for Italy. I'm now convinced the parameters are you have to have a vaguely Italian name, and we'll just let you play for Team Italy. Because I'm not buying. I'm not buying each of these guys have significant family in Italy. But they are 4-0.
We do not judge people based on their last name, or else Curtis Poindexter and Addie Bates, you would never know that we're half Mexican, okay?
Poindexter's crazy.
Except Curtis's middle name is what gives it away.
As crazy as it maybe is the best part of the show. Dead today, my ability to effectively read ads. Today's show is sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. Should have read that about 9 minutes ago. We're learning every day. You can only watch one group for the rest of your life. Which are you choosing? Dead today is my ability to not be anxious. This gives me pure, unadulterated anxiety. In column A, the Masters, the MLB postseason, the college football playoff, and the Stanley Cup. I want to watch all of those things. Column B, the NFL playoffs, March Madness, the NBA playoffs, and the World Cup. Addie, you put this in here.
Yeah.
What kind of dilemma is this for you?
Oh, there's no dilemma. I would keep A. That's all I need in my life.
MLB postseason, college football playoff, Stanley Cup, and the Masters.
Yep.
I do really like the Masters. I also really like the Stanley Cup. And then the college football playoff speaks for itself.
They all rock.
Here's the problem, is what makes column B so enticing is that March Madness is the greatest postseason tournament on earth. There is nothing better than March Madness, given that we play it in 3 weeks and the upsets are crazy. I just don't think as a human being you can get rid of March Madness.
I could live without it if I had to. If I
Hi.
had to pick, I could.
How? Why?
Hi.
How?
It's just,
Why?
there are just so many amazing things in column A. I mean, come on, I'm a huge baseball fan, and I watch every single postseason game, whether it's in person or on my couch. I love postseason baseball because I'm one of the crazy people who watches 162 games leading up to that. So I just feel like it culminates into something huge for me. Stanley Cup, come on now. It also helps that my teams have been in these for quite a long time, except for last year for baseball. But Stanley Cup, it's insane. Postseason hockey's insane. The Masters, Rory McIlroy, that was legendary. That's my guy. College football playoff, I'd like for my team to be a part of it someday. It looks nice.
Yeah. One day the Baylor Bears will be relevant again. Dead today, the Dallas Cowboy, Osa Odigizua. Just kind of sucks, man. I was a big proponent of Osa Odigizua on the Dallas Cowboys. And he was a fan favorite. I'm ready to say that. I'm ready to open up. He was a fan favorite. And now he's gone to the San Francisco 49ers. Wish him luck. And dead today, any and all threats to the United States. CBP AK-9 Bruno alerted to luggage from Burundi. This is what looks to be a beagle who has sniffed out some paraphernalia in a suitcase. This led to the seizure of 29 kilos of prohibited plantains, goat meat, and limes. This prevents potential agriculture threats to the United States. Thank you, Addie, for including this beagle. We did not allow the Burundi nationals to sneak in 29 kilos of plantains.
Drake, what are you gonna do when he's in New Orleans?
Those are like
and
almost bananas.
Yeah, and he seizes 29 Savannah Bananas. What's gonna happen there?
They will. Are they from Burundi? That's the issue here. Is the Burundi thing.
Savannah, Burundi. What's the difference?
The Savannah Burundis. Let's go
Savannah,
Chiefs.
Burundi.
That is our obituaries today. Time for the biggest, no. The quickie, top 5 headlines in all of sports. I have a minute to respond to each of them.
Alrighty, here you go. Here's your first one. U.S. averts WBC disaster, advances with Italy's win.
Pretty awesome. On the one hand, it's not that I wanted the U.S. to lose. Not that I wanted the U.S. to not make the bracket. But it would have been a little funny. It would have been a little comical if your manager says, we may have miscalculated our odds at making the tournament. You probably deserve in that moment to not make the quarterfinals, to not make it out of pool play. But the United States, what do? We win. We just win, man. We keep winning at stuff. And the U.S. wins again here. Italy, I was surprised with how bad that game was. Mexico looked hapless. 9-1, it was bad. It was bad. I would have thought Mexico would be able to compile a better roster than what they have. But the fact that Italy's waxing them, that's a problem. It's a problem, dog.
It's all that espresso. All that espresso. Showing up in suits, taking shots of espresso. Come on now. Why are you supposed to compete against that? Next headline. Crosby commits after Knicks trade, says, I'm a Raider.
Yeah, you are, Max Crosby. That's the spirit. That's the approach. I like what this guy's doing. Showing some maturity. And saying that, you know what? All else fails, I'm an NFL player for whoever. And Las Vegas, I'm a Raider. I'm here for you. I do think they're going to contend in 2026. I think that this is the year the Raiders say, hey, we utilize our draft picks in a savvy way to have a new franchise quarterback. Max Crosby's re-bought in. Let's go contend. I think the Raiders are going to win football games. And as the Raiders ascend, I think the Kansas City Chiefs, let's go Chief, they'll begin to descend. Uh-oh. It's a tough division. That could be a very tough division.
Oh. WNBPA, feeling movement after latest CBA talks.
WNBPA. Yeah?
Women's National Basketball Players Association?
Yep. Yes, the collective bargaining agreement here is one that the league does not like because the league would have to pay more money. And the players do like because the players would get more money. Yay. And somebody, I know it happens every time we bring up the WNBA. Somebody out there is like, oh, they're losing money. They ain't even making money. They're asking for more. No, you should be grateful. Hey, I know. You're excitable. I get calm down. We're in this together. We're not fighting. Just want to let you know if that's your take, if that's your takeaway here. The players are just asking for a revenue share. Imagine if you worked in sales and every time you sold a house, you got 0% commission. You're only on a base salary. The WNBA players are saying, hey, we are the organization, the association as a whole is making a ton of money right now because we are helping you make the money. Can we at least get a revenue share system down? And they're closer. So good for them.
Caitlin Clark back with double-double in Team USA debut.
Bang.
Dudes rock.
I surely know.
Caitlin Smith, right?
Caitlin Smith, yes.
Caitlin Smith. I surely know Lisa Blunder. I definitely know which tournament the U.S. is playing in right now in women's basketball. But, Addie, for the people that don't know, do you want to fill him in?
Oh, you definitely do know.
Google of course. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if you had to describe it, what would you think it is?
Well, you said Clark and Team USA.
It's
Are
the
they
FIBA qualifier.
The Olympic?
FIBA qualifier.
Oh, they're FIBA? This is a FIBA one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess. Do we send our pro? We don't send our men's pro players for the FIBA men's side.
Well, so they've already punched their ticket for the World Cup, but it's like just more like games and qualifiers.
Oh. All right. The Olympics are a big deal. I didn't know FIBA did that, but good for them. I saw a headline this morning. I read the headlines. Not that Addie reads me, but just in general sports. And I saw the headline said Clark double-double in USA return. And I thought, I don't know what any of that means. Who is Clark and what USA is playing right now?
Who is Tingus Pingus?
Who the F is Tingus Pingus?
Here's your final headline. The chat saying that Curtis's middle name is Curtis Loindexter Poindexter. Curtis, what are your thoughts, actually?
Yep.
I mean, it's Gerard, but I guess.
It's not. It's not Loindexter.
I mean, it's Gerard.
It's not on my birth certificate.
What a banger quote. I mean, it's Gerard.
Bro thinks he's
What's the last headline?
That is your last headline.
No, it's not. Nothing about the Pierce Jr. deal. Nothing about Pete Carroll, Bobby Hurley.
No, my fake middle name.
Yeah, that one's funnier. You got me say Carroll predicts QB Smith will rebound with Jets.
Yeah, that's stupid. I did want you to ask that. Thank you. I don't know what Pete Carroll's doing, man.
Chewing gum.
Chewing a lot of gum. Aggressively chewing gum. But glad that he's weighing in on this. And surely Geno Smith's going to be really good. He won. I mean, yeah, he made those Seattle teams that shouldn't have been in the playoff contenders. And he got them in the postseason. Geno Smith. Craziness. When we return, the World Baseball Classic. What if I told you one man, one myth, one legend had history, made history, rewrote history last night in the game between Italy and Mexico in the World Baseball Classic, and now the USA is alive. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The story. Each and every
It is the Drake Toll Show. Am I the only one that I just have to have a sweet treat? I have dinner. Last night I had Chick-fil-A. I was slop laying in bed watching the Love is Blind reunion. I know. Just a sad night. I was in bed by 8:30. I ordered Chick-fil-A late. And it also, what sucks is the Chick-fil-A close to my house closes at 9. But the one far from my house closes at 10. So if I DoorDash the one far from my house, because it's, I have an hour later to DoorDash, then the food shows up just soggy. But it's still, it used to taste like Chick-fil-A. You can still derive the taste. So I got that. And then I had ice cream, I had cashews, and I had Girl Scout cookies. Is that bad? Am I the problem?
Wait, so when I said that you would go to New Orleans and eat Chick-fil-A, you were like, Chick-fil-A? You looked at me like I just called you like some name.
Correct.
And here
because,
you are.
Hey, I have on a Wednesday night in my abode, in my hometown, I can eat Chick-fil-A.
Okay. Now, you know what? I'm a big fan of a sweet treat, but I've had to stop because it's too much. Last night I was at Acme Oyster House and I saw bread pudding, peach cobbler. I was like,
why did you skip trivia night last night? That's right.
Because I'm in New Orleans.
That's right.
Yeah,
but
I'm a big fan.
Calories don't count on vacation. The problem is I travel for work, so vacation is every weekend.
Or last weekend it was this little gelatin, a gummy bear, just because I was eating gummy bears. And, of course, then, an hour later, I'm on this, I'm at a restaurant, and the menu, I'm like, wow, they have skillet cookies. I'm like, this is sick. I'm like, I'll take, 5 of those. That's my problem. I'm like, I just want one of everything.
And your mouth starts feeling really dry. The room kind of slows down. And you're wondering, what was in those gummy bears?
Oh, my gosh. Drake, have you ever had Dan noodles?
Is this a drug reference?
No. This was my first time the other day I had Dan noodles, and nobody told me that, with the Szechuan peppercorns, that they make your tongue, numb and buzz.
You're just making up words now. At this point, you're just... None of this is real.
I'm sitting here in this restaurant, I'm like, oh my God, am I having an allergic reaction? I was like, this is actually the night that you called me while I was out eating about the Max Crosby trade. And I was like, I can't, my tongue is numb. Apparently, this is a thing. This is, one of the...
Your tongue was numb?
Yeah, this is one of the things for Chinese, the palate, senses and stuff, tastes, palates is it's called malo or something like that, where it's a buzzing of your tongue.
I think I'm right. You are making up words at this point.
I swear. If someone knows what I'm talking about, please text, call, do something, back me up here. I'm not making this up. Why would I make this up at 6:25 in the morning for just being froggy, just joshing? No, this was a real thing. So I was panicking at this Chinese restaurant eating these Dan noodles.
Wow. And that equated to a sweet treat? How?
Well, I had to ask you. We were talking about, you said your mouth gets dry. And I was like, wait a minute. I wonder if you know what I'm talking about. And
I've never had Szechuan Dan noodles in Maulo.
No.
So I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
Did you have an assorted array of gummy bears before the show?
No, but why do you think I'm taking tomorrow off? Tomorrow off.
I don't know. Why are you taking tomorrow? Why did the chicken cross the road?
Because I'm going to have a good time tonight. I'm going to a jazz club, going to another place afterwards.
They need me to take, shots from the front and the back, whatever it is.
I'm working tomorrow, in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah. When am I gonna meet the Savannah Bananas?
Oh yeah. We'll be out and about in New Orleans this week. You ever heard of Bourbon Street? It's kind of a local staple. It's classic.
Is it it sounds kind of underground.
Yeah. I'll close with this. Let me be frank. Every city I go to,
Frank Toll,
I try to go to an iconic restaurant, like Joe T. Garcia's, or in Fort Worth or Les Moux, in Louisville. I try to go get the steak, the food in any city in America that I present myself toward. So, Addie, I'm tired of it, of this Chick-fil-A joke that you've brought to light here. And just know that when I'm in New Orleans, I'll be eating good food. I won't be going and getting beignets at Café du Monde, by the way.
You should go to Morning Call.
Yeah, it's real ball knowers understand that Café du Monde is not the best beignet in town.
Yeah, you should go to Morning Call off a canal.
Great. And if I appease that, will you be happy again? Will there be peace in the world?
Will I be happy again?
Yeah.
That's the question.
I skipped out on your one touristy barbecue trap in Memphis, and now
It's
you're
not
upset.
a tourist trap. I don't fall for tourist traps. But at the same time, like, I'm trying to help you, but then you also tell me that you put chili powder on your steaks to give it, like, that sear, which you don't need to. So, like, I'm just, I'm trying to figure you out.
Someone's never heard
Every
of carne
day.
asada, and that's disappointing.
I have, but carne asada is not a ribeye.
You can create a carne asada dry rub.
Yeah, but
then
that's
put
not
the
what
dry
the
rub
flavor
on
palette. Okay,
on
so
the
the flavor
steak.
palette that you were creating was like a carne asada like steak, and then you had cheesy potatoes. Like, this just seems a little Outback.
What? When has Outback ever done?
You're just mixing a bunch of different flavor. Like, is that the palette? Like, we got to stick to like one flavor palette. I feel like
steak and potatoes.
Yeah, but why you're coming? Okay, whatever.
At their base level, it's steak. I'll put chili powder on anything. I'll put chili powder on the potatoes. I don't care. The lime and the chili powder made a better bark for the steak.
No doubt.
I regret nothing. Learn cooking. Vinny Pasquantino.
Sir.
Yeah. You ever heard of Vinny Pasquantino?
Quantino? No, never heard of him.
Pasquantino?
There you go.
He hit 3 home runs last night. Here's how the first one sounded. Fox Sports 1.
That ball's hit pretty well. Right field and deep. Duran back to the wall. He is there. Leaps. And it's gone. Pasquantino doesn't know it. It's 1-0 Italy.
Which is good for the U.S. because if Italy wins against Mexico in this World Baseball Classic game, then the United States will move on to the quarterfinals, to bracket play, out of the pool play, into bracket play. And the U.S. had a miscalculation, thinking they could lose to Italy and still make bracket play, which they could. They thought they were automatically in the bracket, even if they lost to Italy.
Automatic.
Oops. Still is. Oops, coming to find out, not the case. And the U.S., their fate hung in the balance last night, needing Italy to win or Mexico to score more than 5 runs. Mexico did not score more than 5 runs, but Italy did win, thanks to Vinny Pasquantino, who hit his 2nd home run now.
To right. And that's deep. And that's gone. Pasquatch strikes.
Pasquatch, cool name. I'll give it to you. Hand up. Pasquatch is a cool name. What's better than 2 home runs? 3 home runs for the man they call Pasquatch.
That one, I'm not sure if he got it all. Let's see. It's deep. It is gone. He's hit 3.
Yeah. Italy trounces Mexico 9-1 final score, and Team USA still alive. Here's what Vinny had to say about the United States of America postgame.
That was unbelievable, huh? You're welcome, USA. We were thinking of you guys over at your hotel. We were thinking of you guys, so I'm glad you guys could join us in the party.
So when you get back to your phone, Vinny, what's that text message going to say from Bobby Witt Jr.?
I'm hoping he's got a room key for me at his hotel. That's what I'm hoping for.
Addie, wow, all right. Little heated rivalry situation here. Hope he's got a hotel room key for me. Ooh. Touch yourself. It's interviews like that again, I want to revisit for a second, that make me think, man, is the Italian team Italian at all? Doesn't seem that way. And now the guy who just won it for Italy, his first response is, that was for Team USA. I love you, my maiden land, my home and country. I can't wait to get back to the hotel and see you, my beloved USA. Like, what?
Bro dude's rock. I mean, probably couldn't make Team USA, so he had to go play for Team Italy.
Is that what happens? Is if you're
a lot of times, yes,
a guy from Virginia and you can't make team, like Kyle Teal's good, by the way. Italy's got a few good dudes that are young. I did play-by-play for a few Kyle Teal games when he was Cape Cod, and just really good baseball player. Is it you're just kind of that cutoff line on the bubble? You didn't make Team USA, so you find a backup option somewhere?
Yeah. Which, by the way, Pasquatch says that what it means to reconnect with this Italian heritage, it's awesome.
To reconnect.
Reconnect, which,
Probably didn't even know he had Italian heritage.
From the middle of nowhere, Virginia. I mean, he says it's from Richmond, but.
I don't. Yeah.
Midlothian.
Midlothian, Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It says he's, on his Wikipedia, he's of Italian descent.
Somewhere in there. For sure. In front of a 40,000 person crowd at Dyken Park, by the way, Italy and Mexico. The World Baseball Classic brings out, I think, the best in baseball. I've talked to analysts and coaches and even players about their different perspectives on pro guys, about their different perspectives on the World Baseball Classic and how much it actually means, like if the U.S. should be giving its all. This is as excitable as it gets about baseball, I think, you could ask for in March. Yeah, I can't think of another event, another time in baseball where America kind of rallies around the sport outside of the World Series. This is an opportunity for baseball to be on a pretty big stage because Team USA wears those three letters across its jersey, and everybody buys into that. Fair to say the World Baseball Classic does matter, and we should continue to care?
100%, because for the longest time, and still right now, this is the closest that the guys get to the Olympics. They don't get that. They don't get to feel what Quinn and Hughes and Jack Hughes felt. They don't understand that. So this is the closest they get. And some of the guys have said hey, this is awesome, but it's still not the Olympics. But this is their one time where we heard Tarek Skubal was I thought this was going to be the All-Star game where, it's kind of more laid back. You're still having fun and stuff. No, these are people playing for their countries. They actually care. I mean, come on, with Czechia, you literally have this guy who's a repairman pitching. It's great stuff. These are great storylines. You love to see it, and it is awesome. It is amazing. I did hear the other day, whenever it was Mexico versus the United States, from my buddies who were broadcasting the game, that they had to scream because of how loud it was in there. They said it equated to the vibes of a World Series. They had to scream in order to hear each other.
Sounds a lot like a Savannah Bananas game.
Actually, that's crazy. When I was at the Savannah Bananas game, I could hear everybody clearly.
I know that's not true. There's music blaring the whole time.
I saw them at Nats Park.
Oh,
versus the firefighters. Yeah.
Firefighters?
No, firefighters.
Nice
Saw them
try.
against the firefighters.
When did you see a Bananas game?
When they were in DC versus the firefighters.
But they've played 3 games all time at Nats Park.
I saw them in July of 2024.
Oh, wow. It's the rack home run where he carries the American flag around the bases. That's sick. That's awesome. I don't know you'd seen the Bananas. Good for you.
You don't listen to me ever, do you? I've said that 5 times.
Ever is a strong word. I try not to speak in absolutes. But
you don't listen to me.
I try not to speak in absolutes, but it's not because it's 7. It's marginal, right? That's good. I'll let the Bananas know that you're in town in New Orleans. Yep, there you go. Addy Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. When we come back, Bobby Hurley's gone from Arizona State. And yesterday, in the NCAA tournament play-in, which is effectively what the conference tournaments are, your conference tournament's just your play-in, some wild-ish went down, and new teams punched their tickets. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, which protects small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Every team, every play.
She hit me like that. Saw that thing so beautiful. She just hit my heart. Oh, full force and she got me like. I be like, baby, why you so fine? Got to make you mine. So hard to find. Baby, like, oh, how'd you do the thing? The way that you do it, and she ain't even show nothing. She be walking around so confident, so heaven sent. I think she was meant to knock some daylight. Like, girl, you so fine. Girl, you rockin' like sublime, super fine. She was never lying, strutting in the heels or her slides. Either way, eyes on her every single day, week, year. Everyone wondering how she does it with no fear. All that confidence, was it heaven sent? Does it come within? Does it come run out? I don't know. She'll just have them running out and in. Man, they want to sin, talking deadly sin with Mrs. Lady. I don't understand why she hit them like. Girl, you knockin' me. How you do the thing you do? Baby, you knockin' me. I'm already said.
the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is Westwood One. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board in Culver City, California. Santa Monica. I'm still living with your ghost. Los Angeles. It's all one and the same. It's like Addie trying to say she lives in Washington, D.C. Like, kind of. The burbs.
I'm not going to say where I live. Let's say you got the closest, like, city. You know?
Right. It's like you live in Frisco, but you say Dallas.
I'm from Austin. Not from Austin. From right outside Austin.
Yeah, you say you're from Georgetown. You say
I'm
Austin.
not from...
You're from
I'm
Temple.
from Cedar Park.
You're from Temple, but you say Austin. You're from Hutto. Oh, watch out. Watch out. Dude knows Texas towns.
Look at him. Look at him go.
That's 310-840-4910. That's the beauty of the world we live in. Did you watch any men's basketball yesterday?
Nope.
One of the most embarrassing things that I've seen this season in men's basketball occurred in a contest between Iowa State and Arizona State in the Big 12 tournament. I had my eyes, host of Locked On Big 12, right? So I intently watched Iowa State, Arizona State in the Big 12 yesterday. The score at halftime of this game, 45-16, Iowa State on top of Arizona State. Iowa State would go on to outscore Arizona State 46-26 in the second half. Final score 91-42. Final score of 91-42, Iowa State over Arizona State. 17-16 finish. Bobby Hurley's contract will not be renewed. I am imagining, can only assume that for Arizona State, they will not play in the postseason, whether it be the NIT or the CBI, the Crown. Arizona State goes home. They fire Bobby Hurley. And it was time. Good dude, yeah. I mean, everybody you talk to has been around him. He's a good dude. But 11 seasons, they were just up and down, and the last game of his tenure was a 91-42 loss. And the problem is, whoever you throw in this position as the new head coach at Arizona State, they are facing Bill Self, or Kelvin Sampson, or Tommy Lloyd, or TJ Otzelberger, or Scott Drew. They're facing some of the best coaches in college basketball, some of the best programs in college basketball. You can't just walk into the Big 12, unless you're BYU, and win right away. In hoops, especially. And for Arizona State, the resources are just not the resources of a Texas Tech or a BYU if you're comparing just Big 12 schools. They don't have the NIL on the basketball side, the support on the basketball side that some of these other Big 12 squads at the top of the conference do. Kansas, Houston, they gift so much NIL to basketball that they will only ever be competitive if they continue to put the resources into that just as much as they do football. Arizona State seems to be selling out for football only, and if you do that, you make more money as a school anyway, so why not? Louisville, SMU, 62-58. SMU pleading its case for March Madness. They're 20-13 overall, 8-10 in the ACC. And close games are not wins. Close losses are not wins. So falling 62-58 after being tied at halftime with Louisville, who's a top 25 team, who's certainly a log for March Madness. Losing this game, not going to help you. I think SMU's season's done. I do not see Drake Toll, the bracketologist, SMU moving on into March Madness. Iowa over Maryland. Maryland made this a game. They were up 26-25 at halftime in the Big Ten tournament, round 2 of the Big Ten tournament. Iowa 21-11, 10-10 in the Big Ten. They're locked for March Madness. They're bubble-ish, but I think they're in. And they rallied to knock off Maryland. Maryland was 12-21 this year. 4-16 in the Big Ten, one of the worst teams in a power conference. NC State, bubble school. They are now 20 wins, 12 losses, 10-8 on the year in ACC play, knocking off Pitt 98-88. Doesn't help your resume that much. It's Pitt, and Pitt was miserable at basketball this year. But Will Wade, remember the old LSU guy, the guy the FBI investigated? Will Wade, the head coach at NC State, has his team in what I think is decent position, another bubble squad to get in. That was the theme of yesterday. A lot of bubble teams, or teams like Kentucky that need to boost their seeding. A BYU or a Kentucky, those are schools that go into the Big 12 tournament, that go into the SEC tournament and say, hey, we need to win to move from a 7 seed to a 5 seed. We need to win to move from a 6 seed to a 3 seed. How far can we get the deeper we go beating elite teams in our tournament? Kentucky did not beat an elite LSU team. They beat a bad LSU team. But in the same vein where close losses don't count in the win column, close wins do. And you get that W and another tick to the left, and Kentucky is in decent shape. Washington, USC. The final nail in the coffin for USC happened a few weeks ago. Chad Baker-Mazara, when he was dismissed from the team, it was pretty clear Eric Musselman's tenure at USC has continued to be is now established as rocky. It's not going very well. 3 years in for Musselman and USC, the guy who left Arkansas to move out west. They lose to Washington, 83-79 in the Big Ten tournament, and USC's season is done. Auburn picking a win up. Bubble team Auburn, 7-11 in the SEC, 4 games below 500, 17-15 overall. Beat a hapless Mississippi State 79-61. And they want to make a case. They're still trying to make a case. Auburn should be in the NCAA tournament. I don't think so. 7-11 in SEC play in a year where the SEC wasn't exactly the cream of the crop in college basketball, where the SEC lacked elite teams. I'm not signing on to that. Yet Auburn's still another win. UCF and Cincinnati both bubble teams. That win for UCF, 66-65 over Cincy, keeps them squarely in March. Cincinnati, 18-15, 9-9 in the best conference in college basketball. Does that give them a spot? I don't think so. Indiana losing to Northwestern. Northwestern's 5-15 in Big Ten play. Indiana officially out of contention for March Madness. They're not going. I don't think so. Texas losing to Ole Miss. Chris Beard, the Ole Miss Rebels, 4-14 in the SEC. Beat Texas by double digits. I think the Longhorns are off the bubble. 18-14 overall, 9-9 in the SEC. I do not see Texas being a March Madness team. Similarly, West Virginia, who's getting no love in this whole thing. They are 18-14, 9-9 in Big 12 play, the 7 seed out of the Big 12. It's kind of weird that the 7 seed, the Big 12 Conference, West Virginia, the 7th best team in the league, will not make March Madness. They're not in the conversation for March Madness. Yet BYU, who's the 10th team in the league, is slated as a 6 seed. Oh, and the 5th ranked team in the league, Iowa State. Remember, West Virginia is 7th in the Big 12. Iowa State is 5th. Iowa State is a 2 seed in March Madness. West Virginia is not even on the bubble. They kind of proved why. Losing by 20 points, held to 48 points. BYU's defense has been tough to watch this year, but held West Virginia to 48 points, and A.J. DeBonsa was A.J. DeBonsa. He did it again. He's the best player in college basketball. And now, after his 40 points in the first round of the Big 12 tournament, BYU knocking off Kansas State, DeBonsa dropped 27 last night. 67 points in 2 games in the Big 12 tournament, but the conference didn't give him Player of the Year. In the American Conference, Memphis will reportedly hold on to Penny Hardaway. 9 seasons for Penny Hardaway. And things have gotten a little rocky. They lost to Tulane yesterday. Their season ends 81-69. And Memphis had his worst record, 13-19, their final record. Their worst record in 50-plus years. This is the worst season for Memphis basketball in 50-plus years. Ooh. But they're keeping Hardaway? Apparently the politics of it just didn't make sense. Wasn't going to work to kick Hardaway out. They're going to have to stick with him. $6 million buyout, the buyout of whatever coach they hire, the contract, whatever coach they hire, was too much. Memphis retains, but what a rough year. Struggle bus year for the Tigers. It is always this time of year. It's always fun to see the bubble teams that win. It's fun to track the bubble. to watch a Wake Forest fight for its life and Oklahoma try to win a couple games in the SEC tournament. A TCU end the season, end the hopes of Oklahoma State. You watch for those stories. But even more importantly, you watch for Idaho. 77-66 over Montana. The Idaho Vandals, they win their men's conference tournament and are headed to March Madness. That's why I watch. Teams like Idaho, who will finish 6th in its league in the Big Sky, 7th in the Big Sky, and now they are dancing. That's awesome, man. Fun to track the bubble, even more fun to see the Idaho Vandals go to March Madness. In the league with Portland State, Montana State, Eastern Washington, Northern Colorado. Here come those Vandals, and they're headed to March. Addy Bates produces, Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Idiot of the day when we come back. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
Trouble all my day. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised, the place where he was born and raised. I've been in trouble, no pleasure here on earth I find. For in this world I'm bound to ramble, I had no friends to help me now. He has no friends to help me now. just a stranger. My face you never will see no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore. He'll meet you on God's golden shore.
Touch yourself.
He wakes up in the morning, does his teeth bite to eat, and he's rolling. He never changes a thing.
It's the Drake Toll Show. Addy Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. I said deep tracks only. Water gun to your head. Could you name 50% of the words in that song?
Take these chances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could. I can't stand Dave Matthews, but I think I could.
Really?
I've said that on this show.
My ex-girlfriend of 3 years. Favorite band in the world, favorite artist in the world, Dave Matthews Band.
That's a red flag.
Total red flag, man. I didn't see the signs. I didn't see the signs. And that was my first key, my first clue. She also fell asleep during Oh Brother Where Art Thou. What an
Wow.
idiot. Yeah, who does that? Did I tell you how that show was?
Mm-mm.
I cried, man. It was so unreal. Oh, brother, where art thou? I got to pay my bookie. Oh, brother, where art thou? He just reminded me I need to pay him.
Your bookie?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, brother, where art thou? 2001. Soundtrack wins the Grammy for Album of the Year. They got the entire cast back together to do a show at the Grand Ole Opry. My first time seeing a show, I've done the little tour thing of the Opry. First time seeing a show, unbelievable. The acoustics are crazy. I cried. It was great. Alison Krauss looks so young. She sounds incredible.
Did you go by yourself?
No, my current girlfriend went.
Oh, okay. Is she going to be in New Orleans?
No.
Is Bear?
No.
Okay, so just
It's
you.
just me.
That's great.
It's
That's
just me.
wonderful.
And so, great show. Dan Tyminski was there. Tim Blake Nelson, great actor, did a Q&A after, and I got a little backstage pass and got to listen to those guys talk. It was awesome. It's great.
Did you get like a picture with it? Like, this is like the stuff you should talk about. That's cool.
No, I did not get a picture with them.
Did you get to ask a question?
No, I didn't want to ask a question. I don't do that. I can't. Here's the deal. Here's what I battle with every day. I battle with, when I was a kid, anybody I met in sports and media, I'd freak out. Like autographs, pictures, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Meeting famous people was all I ever wanted to do. And then now in working in radio and in sports media, you're around. I don't want to bombard these folks. I enjoy going in public and someone says, hey, I know you from the TV or the radio or from this or from that. That's a very cool feeling. And if it happens at a higher rate, it can become stressful. I don't want to be a cause of stress to these people. They're not zoo animals.
Okay.
Here's my philosophy. If I see someone in the airport and they're famous, let's say a Beyonce is in the airport, I'm never going to approach that person for a picture or say hi or talk to them. If I saw Willie Carlisle or Max Gomez or Nick Shoulders or Cleto Cordero in the airport, which most of you have no idea who any of those names are, I would approach them and say hello. Why? They're super niche celebrities. I'm fans of their music. It's more... it's lesser known music, and they'd probably find it pretty cool that a random guy in the airport recognized them and thought, hey, I like your stuff.
I've only done so the last time I saw a famous person, which now I see him every single St. Patrick's Day, and I think he does recognize me because we get a picture every single time now, was the punter for the Saints, Thomas Morstead. He's not the punter for the Saints anymore, but I approached him in the airport when I was younger, and what I said was like, hey, has anybody ever told you look like Thomas Morstead? And he was like, I am Thomas Morstead. And I was like, what's my next move here? But I don't think anybody ever recognizes the punter of a football team.
Right.
So I had no issues, and now I see him all the time when I'm out here. I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to recreate this picture. I show him every time, and he was like, but I don't think I've actually really approached big celebrities. My dad was on a flight with Ryan Gosling one time, and if that were me, I think I would have accidentally tripped and fell on him, but I wouldn't have said anything.
Yikes.
No, not like that, Curtis.
Touch yourself.
Nope.
Yeah, I saw Billy Currington. Turnip greens.
Yeah. Don't be way up, y'all.
We live on the same island. And so I saw him probably 2 months ago. No. I looked at you can search the files. They have a website now. You can type in a keyword and search the files. I typed in Drake Toll and there was nothing. I won't tell you what came up when I typed in Addie Bates because it was damning.
Yeah, it's
Count
gonna
your
be
days, Bates.
it's gonna be like some of those people in our chat. Honestly, that's what they were saying about me. Okay.
Count your days. So I saw him at the jokes write themselves. He's standing next to a big cart of turnip greens and collard greens, and he's a shorter guy. I didn't say hi to him. I tried to snipe a picture from a while away.
There's also nothing wrong with being short.
Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong. The last famous person I saw was on my birthday, and it was the Caps, which is funny because I work for them, so actually I see them quite frequently, but I don't talk to them. The Washington Capitals were at the bar that I go to after trivia all the time, so we couldn't go in because they rented out the place, and we were like, oh, I wonder who rented it out, and this guy sitting right there facing the window, dressed as Julius Caesar, who was it? Alex Ovechkin. And I was just like, I just stood there like an idiot because I was like, that's Ovi. That's Ovi, the all-time leading goal scorer. Ovi.
OVO.
That is pretty cool. Oh. That's a pretty cool story, actually.
And then the guy outside was like, you got to keep walking. And I was like, it's a window.
Yeah. It's time for our idiot of the day.
Idiot of the day.
First idiot of the day, Matthew Driscoll. Matt is the interim head coach of Kansas State, and now no longer. He went to the podium and, speaking for his final time as the interim coach, had some scathing things to say about what it's like to work at Kansas State and work in the purple. And I just listen to what he had to say in his post-game press conference.
Absolutely miserable. I can't use another word than absolutely miserable. Every day. Ulcers, not sleeping, not feeling good. I have an issue, I have a problem, and I've had it my whole life. And when I reached out to our psychologist that did the testing on us, he just said, Coach, that's just the way you're wired. All you're about is making sure things are organized and things are right. So if somebody gives me a task, My dad says that your last name's on everything. Don't ever screw up our last name. And so because of that, I'm wired differently. And so it's been very hard to mourn or be emotional. And I even asked my psychologist, why aren't I emotional? Like, why aren't I like, he's one of my best friends. Like, his daughter's my goddaughter. But it's because he asked me to do something, and I told these dudes I'm going to do it. And when someone asks me to do something, that's the one thing I am. I'm consistent. And so it's been miserable from that perspective. But they wouldn't know that because all I tried to do was just pour in to the staff, to the players, to the GAs, to the managers. And our staff, to their credit, they tried to pour in and it took a lot to hold it together. A lot. But if you're a man and you're a grown man and you make a decision to come to Kansas State, no matter what the outcome is or whatever the responsibilities are, when somebody asks you to do something and you say yes, you do it. And that's just the way I was raised.
I mean, what a weird rant. I'm a Matt Driscoll fan. His Baylor ties, Scott Drew ties. I've followed his career for a decent bit. He's a head coach in Florida. And I think he's just completely burying yourself here. Why would you say these things after you've been effectively fired, after your staff's been fired? The other head coach was canned a few weeks ago. You're the interim head coach. And you come to the podium after the season's over and say that miserable. Your experience here was miserable. Ulcers, not sleeping, not feeling good. That if you're working at Kansas State, playing at Kansas State, affiliated with Kansas State, your life is miserable. Mike Stanley tweets in response to this, man, then don't take the job. Many coaches pray for the opportunity to coach a D1 program. I appreciate loyalty, but my God, man, boo-hoo. You got to coach a Big 12 program for a month. You did nothing but whine about it. Put yourself and your feelings over the university signing your checks. Yeah. It's been a really weird couple of months at Kansas State. Add this to the list. Dude gets fired and says this place is horrible, terrible. Idiot of the day, the Ravens. Ari Mirov tweets, the Ravens have not said a word yet, and as a result, the overall perception around the NFL is that Baltimore got cold feet on the Max Crosby deal, realized over the last few days that Trey Hendrickson had little market, and pivoted to Hendrickson, breaking what many view as a trust agreement teams have with one another. Not a single NFL person has been able to explain Baltimore's point of view yet. There are a lot of angry people. Yeah, man, you get to be idiot of the day today if you're the Baltimore Ravens. Because if you were trying to do the right thing, if that was the goal here, it looks very fishy that you were doing the opposite. I mean, anyone that kind of put two and two together to deduce that allowing the Max Crosby trade to fall through was an intentional use of an intentional break in written rule. That you don't do that for a guy who you knew his meniscus was torn. And you said because of his knee that we already knew about, we asked doctors when we can no longer go through with this trade. That is bad. Mark DeRosa, idiot of the day. Tarek Skubal versus Great Britain. Publicly come out and say you haven't punched your ticket. Mail it in. Say that you have punched your ticket. Mail it in versus Italy. Leave the entire tournament. You're fade up to Aaron Nola. A Mark DeRosa masterclass. Addy, thoughts on Mark DeRosa's role as the manager of Team USA so far in the World Baseball Classic?
We need to get like one of the little league dads out there because Mark is doing an awful job. And I don't know how he's going to go back to MLB Network and sit there and be like, this was good. Like, how do you address this afterwards? Like, you made all these mistakes. You thought that you had already advanced when you didn't. Your players got hammered, which is fine, except then they couldn't play, like, well. You sat your, like, good guys. Like, it's just been a disaster.
How did we land on Mark DeRosa as the manager? How does that even happen?
He's technically played in the World Baseball Classic before.
Yeah, how does that... And?
Like, he has no coaching experience.
If I've run a marathon, it doesn't mean I can be a marathon coach. Doesn't make me a personal trainer.
I'm not saying like I agree with it. I think it's a terrible pick. I do. There are other like players, people who are more put Bochy out there, honestly. Get Bochy's ass out there.
David Ross?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Better than Mark DeRosa.
Curtis.
It sounds like Mark DeRosa is just one of the boys, and that might be the problem. He probably was hanging out with the guys after the Mexico win, having a good time and a few cervezas. And because of that, Team USA put in a really odd spot where they almost missed out on bracket play and nearly lost their pool. Final idiot, Tom Brady penned a tribute to Tim McCarver, who he thought died last week. Tim McCarver died in 2023. How does this happen? How does Tom Brady write and why is Tom Brady writing a tribute to Tim McCarver? And how did Tom Brady just find out that broadcaster Tim McCarver has been dead?
Because he doesn't listen to Dead or Alive.
And is no longer with us.
Doesn't listen to Dead or Alive.
Do we have context on this? How it happened? Why it happened?
No.
Okay. Wow. Well, thank you, Tom Brady, for your touching eulogy to Tim McCarver, who died last week in 2023. Look, here's the deal, man. Much to be said about the World Baseball Classic. Much to be said of March Madness, the NFL, free agency, trades, a myriad of things happening in our world right now. And in sports, you and I get to come together every morning and talk about it. And up next, Chelsea Janes brings us more World Baseball Classic and more from New York. The Giants, the Jets, what are we doing? What's Aaron Glenn doing right now as we speak? We'll find out. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation gladly conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath there were Dane, darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down. The champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch. He lost the comeback. He lost the charity. But that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating. And he came to brawl. Serve your client notice that of all the young gods I have known, yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene. An amnesiac, a himbo doll. I guess time does make fools of us all.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Good morning. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. every day. You know, Bam Adebayo scored 83 points yesterday. Ugh. And none of you seem to really care today. And you know what? If I'm being honest with you, I don't know if I really care today. When Kobe dropped 81 in Toronto, when he dropped 80 in Toronto, everyone talked about it for weeks. It was the top story when you turned your TV on. It was the top story the next day and the day after that. How did Kobe do it? Everybody watched it. The world turned its eyes to the NBA. I don't want to take away from what Bam Adebayo did. But I watched again yesterday. I thought, after the show, was I too harsh? Was I too mean to Bam Adebayo? Let's rewind the tape. And let's watch every shot that was made in this game from Bam. I did that. I sat down and subjected myself to it. And you know what? Can I be honest with you? I'm okay saying it was a little boring. It didn't have this feel of stardom. And I don't think that Bam Adebayo, I thought his comments post-game were weird, some of them, but overall his respect for Kobe and his want to be like Kobe, the honor it is for him to now have broken a record of Kobe's, that's pretty cool. But dog, I don't think it makes this a moment that you remember where you were, one of those big sports moments that makes sense. It's going to be a record at the very top of the record books from a guy you say, oh, yeah, Bam Adebayo. He's good. Not necessarily a star in the NBA, but he's good. I'll remember him, but it's not one of those legendary 90s players that you didn't grow up in the era of, but you still know who they are because they were that good on the national scene, international scene, in the association. I don't see Bam Adebayo being that guy. And now at 83 points, it just feels weird. A little hollow, as Jerry Jones would say. Around the NFL, storylines abound. Bradley Chubb to the Buffalo Bills, total rebound move, as Brandon Beane bolsters the defense in Buffalo. And with this move, the Buffalo Bills have a pretty penny and a price tag to hand off. Over $50 million in total. Osa Odigizua to the San Francisco 49ers. No longer a Dallas Cowboy for a third-round pick. Oh, and halfway across the country from Osa Odigizua and the 49ers, there are the Baltimore Ravens, who now have Trey Hendrickson instead of Max Crosby. But in the midst of all of that, this month, the word it represents is not built for just NFL storylines. It is not built for the World Baseball Classic and just the World Baseball Classic. March is built for college basketball. And today, what we have beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time is magical. The first game we'll see. I'm only going to give you the top 25 teams that are playing today. Teams in the AP Top 25 who are in action. But that list, that number of games is wide and will get even more jam-packed tomorrow. But starting at 11 o'clock, you can turn your TV on and see if Miami, Ohio can complete the march for greatness. 7.5-point favorites. That's a low number for a Miami, Ohio team that's 31-0, playing Massachusetts, a UMass team who's 16-15. At Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, Miami of Ohio tries to remain undefeated and move to 32-0. Bubble team NC State 20-12, 10-8 in the ACC. They play in Charlotte Spectrum Center against Virginia, 27-4. The Cavs could work their way to a 2 seed. NC State could lose its way out of the NCAA tournament if they fall today. Quarterfinal of the ACC tournament. NC State can book a ticket to the semifinal, grab another top 10 victory, and Will Wade and company can possibly have positioned themselves to make March Madness. St. John's tournament quarterfinal, the Big East against Providence. 11.5-point favorites for the Johnnies. Providence is 15-17 overall. Madison Square Garden, St. John's, this is home for them. They'll be just fine. And then number 7, Iowa State, and number 16, Texas Tech. This is a game to circle for your day. I've given you UMass Miami of Ohio, bubble team NC State, possible 2 seed Virginia, Providence, St. John's at Madison Square Garden. Now Iowa State and Texas Tech, number 7 versus number 16, and all of those games are tipping off at 12:30 or before. All of those games are a couple hours away. This is your opportunity to eat breakfast, have an appetizer, and then buckle up for college basketball. Next week, do not come to me in the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, if you weren't here during the conference tournament, if you weren't here during October of the college basketball season, November of the college basketball season. Because now you're being given a full slate, a full day of top-level games on the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, Westwood One Sports app. Iowa State and Texas Tech's a game to key in on. Iowa State's a 5.5-point favorite. Taman Lipsey, Milan Momcilovic, Joshua Jefferson. Iowa State's one of the best teams in the country. They should be a pretty salty pick in your bracket. Iowa State should be in your Elite 8, if not Final Four, when you go to build your bracket. But Texas Tech, it's the same Texas Tech team that won on the road against Iowa State, 82-73. A 9-point victory on the road for Texas Tech at Iowa State just 2 weeks ago. Now they meet at a neutral site. Iowa State's favored by 5.5. Well, how? They lost at home to Texas Tech. They lost at Arizona by 16 points, got trounced 73-57. Well, it's a Texas Tech team that is in a weird spot without its star player, JT Toppin, and an Iowa State team that has a senior-laden experience roster and just beat Arizona State twice in a row, 86-65 to cap the regular season, and then 91-42 yesterday. Texas Tech lost at BYU, lost at home against TCU. They're on a 2-game losing skid against a hot Iowa State team that wants revenge. Two teams. Tech wants a 3 seed, a 4 seed. Iowa State wants to lock in a 2 seed. Two teams fighting for seeding in the Big 12 tournament. Louisville, Miami. Miami's 13-5 in the ACC, 24-7 overall, unranked. Louisville's 11-7 in the ACC, 23-9 overall. They're number 24 in the country. Weird. Louisville was a bubble team for a while and has now played their way in. Give me Louisville against Miami today as a 1.5-point favorite, even though they are the technical seeding underdog in Charlotte in the ACC tournament. UCF, Arizona. This is on the main ESPN channel. If you have a chance today to turn your TV on, 3 o'clock Eastern's the time to do it. To see Braden Burries, Koa Pete, Jaden Bradley, the Big 12 Player of the Year, Jaden Bradley, and Arizona take on UCF. Johnny Dawkins is back in March Madness as the head coach of the Knights. They're a lock now to make the tournament. 21-10 overall, 9-9 in the Big 12. Their resume is plenty good enough. This juggernaut Arizona team, though, they are a 15.5-point favorite in this game. And UCF they've had a really weird last month. They lost at West Virginia by 15. They lost at home to Baylor, who was hapless this year. They lost at home to Oklahoma State. Squeaked out a win against Cincinnati, 66-65 in overtime. But it's the same UCF team that went on the road and beat BYU when they were in the top 20 by 13 points, dominated BYU. You're watching a good UCF team. You'll turn the TV on and see why the next caliber, the top caliber, the elite caliber of college basketball teams in 2026 are so far ahead of everybody else. You'll see the gap today. You'll watch maybe the most complete team in college basketball in the Arizona Wildcats. It doesn't begin next week. The quad box doesn't begin next week. It begins today as conference tournaments roll on. Auburn, Tennessee. Another bubble watch. If you beat Tennessee, that's a top 25 win in your back pocket if you're Auburn. Another top 25 win. If Tennessee loses, it dilutes the strength of the SEC, but it helps the Auburn Tigers, who will be 18-15. I still don't understand how you can take a Big 12 team like West Virginia. And we all know the Big 12 is the best league in college basketball, from A.J. DeBonta and BYU to Kansas and Darren Peterson, or Koa Pete with Arizona, Texas Tech, Iowa State, Houston, Kingston Flemings and Houston. We know those are the best teams in college basketball. So if West Virginia finished 9-9, I'd probably give them a nod to go to March Madness for finishing 500. 68 teams get in. We've let in plenty of teams over the course of history with a record below 500 in conference play. But no, Joe Lunardi has Auburn, 17 wins, 15 losses, 7 wins, 11 losses in conference play. He has that Auburn team in March Madness. If they beat Tennessee today, they can bolster that. I don't see how they'll get in other than propaganda. And we've been told by analysts on this show that propaganda is a driving factor. When the door shuts, when that room's closed off and the committee meets to decide who will represent their conferences in March Madness, the 68 teams in March Madness, there will be rooting interests in that room. They'll say, oh, I'm friends with Bruce Pearl. I'm friends with Stephen Pearl. Well, I know the Auburn athletic director. I'm leaning their direction, even though they're 17-15, would be 17-16 with a loss, and I predict they will lose today. Oh, and remember when I told you if you want to see greatness, 3 o'clock, Arizona, you can skip over Northwestern and Purdue. This should be a blowout. But pop on Florida State and Duke. Do a little comparison between what Arizona looks like and what Duke looks like. The Duke Blue Devils are favored by 17.5 points against Florida State in the ACC tournament. Florida State 10-8, winning record in conference play. Duke, different stratosphere, different level of basketball. And you double box that with BYU and Houston. You get Kingston Flemings, Joseph Tugler, and the Houston Cougars that are the perfect mixture of youth and veteran experience against the BYU Cougars led by A.J. DeBonsa and Rob Wright III. The same Rob Wright III who was a Baylor player last year that was offered an alleged $2 million to leave Baylor tampered with to go to BYU. And now those two guys anchor the roster. DeBonsa, the future number 1 overall NBA draft pick, has been able to keep BYU afloat in the Big 12 tournament. And tickets for that game, listen to this, tickets for a neutral site game, Kansas City, Missouri, the T-Mobile Center between BYU and Houston. BYU's in Provo, Utah. Houston is in Houston. The lowest price for a ticket is $105. Conference tournament game, T-Mobile Center. Just how good the Big 12 is, baby. Houston favored by 9.5. Can A.J. DeBonsa, who scored 67 points combined in 2 games in Kansas City, keep BYU's season going, their Big 12 season at least? That's the question. Kevin Young, one of the best NBA assistant coaches that's now the head coach of BYU, said he's just let his team be loose. They were trying to figure out how to play without Richie Saunders, one of their best players who tore his ACL. Now they're just playing loose. Don't overthink it. Don't overcoach it. Just win. Xavier and UConn, blowout city. TCU and Kansas. KU only favored by 5.5. It's a TCU team. It's dangerous. Jamie Dixon has made the tournament again. 11 wins and 7 losses in Big 12 play. And Kansas, do we have Darren Peterson tonight? Do we not have Darren Peterson, even if he's listed as healthy or listed in the starting lineup? Do we get more than 18 minutes from Darren Peterson? I don't think you can count on it. But you can count on Trey White. And again, the experience of this Kansas team, what they bring to college basketball from a senior standpoint. Melvin Council Jr., White is an example of that. It's an older Kansas team mixed with Floyd Badunga, who's also in his second year of college basketball, and 9 rebounds per game is one of the best in the entire sport. But TCU, man, David Punch. It's TCU every 3 years has some wily guard who you don't hear of until March. When March rolls around, that wily guard just goes off. Leads TCU on a tear. And it makes them fun to watch and competitive for the rest of the postseason. That's Punch's role this year for the Frogs. And then at 9:30, Clemson, North Carolina. UNC only a 1.5-point favorite. I think Carolina's fraudulent. I think Carolina's that team in the 5-seed, 4-seed range that you pick to lose in March Madness, to be upset in March Madness. I'm not buying the Tar Heels right now. They take on Clemson late tonight as 1.5-point favorites. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Coming back, Max Crosby to the Ravens. Why is the entire league mad at Baltimore? And should they be mad at Baltimore? It's a good question, Drake. Let's answer it. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Imagine a sports platform.
gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning. Death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh, Lord, yeah. Darkness, world stops turning. Ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power. And as God has struck the hour, day
I got a sweet little baddie and she's rolling in the caddy with me.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Addie Bates produces. Good morning, everybody. Having sports this week, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. every day. Then Nick Costos, You Better, You Bet. Bleck and Abdallah, Jim Rome. Man, I listened to a lot of Rome yesterday. I listened to a lot of the network yesterday on Sirius XM. And I heard a lot of, what? Woo. This is Westwood. Yep. I heard a lot of that. It was awesome. Cool to have a national audience via Sirius XM. And on 300 plus affiliates, too. Pretty awesome. Hey. You know, there's a calm way to approach the Ravens Max Crosby situation. There's a reasonable way to approach it. There is a professional way to approach it. And I don't give a rat's ass. Because the irrational way to approach it would be to say the Baltimore Ravens done screwed up, screwed over the rest of the NFL, dumped Max Crosby, and this is a dirty move. That's the irrational jump to conclusions idea of thinking. But you know what? Can I be honest with you? Man, I'm in that boat. Man, I believe that. I saw what happened. And I don't believe that Baltimore was going to bring in 2 defensive ends. I don't think that Baltimore was going to bring in 2 guys to put pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Crosby and Hendrickson both. There's no way. No. And isn't it fishy that they realized, wait a second, we could get Trey Hendrickson for cheaper than we thought. Or there are less teams competing for Trey Hendrickson. So what if we just throw away this whole Crosby deal, pay the dough for Hendrickson, keep our 2 first-round draft picks, and pretend this never happened? That's what this looks like. That's what this is really starting, the picture is starting to be painted here, is that Baltimore said, oh, we realize now that we don't need Max Crosby. And we probably do need those picks. So let's just say he failed his physical, his completely subjective physical. Baltimore's Eric DaCosta said this about people believing that his reputation may be tainted by what's happened.
Nobody's more upset about this than me. Gutted by it, actually. And so a big regret for me. But we will move on as a football team, and I think there's many, many opportunities for us to grow as a team, to become a better team, to build a roster, and to be the team that we want to be.
Yeah, all right. Gutted, huh? This must feel so terrible for you, Eric DaCosta. But failing a physical is subjective. I can fail a physical based on however you... I just didn't like your results. Didn't like your knee. Well, I told you I had knee surgery. Yeah, I don't like that. Here's what Adam Schefter exposed about Max Crosby's MRI scan.
This is a highly unusual circumstance that will create enormous ripple effects, and nobody knows how it will turn out now. Whether Max Crosby will wind up playing in Vegas, whether the Raiders will trade him, what the return in a trade for him will be, but no question that this is a setback for all involved right now, because the Baltimore Ravens essentially failed him on their physical. And my understanding is there were multiple doctors that reviewed his MRI scans. There were doctors that examined him, including Dr. Daniel Cooper, the Dallas Cowboys doctor that performed surgery on Patrick Mahomes and Malik Neighbors. Many teams and players rely on Dr. Cooper's expertise. And Dr. Cooper was one of the doctors that reviewed the images where the Ravens then felt compelled to back out of this trade. So there are a whole host of ramifications. Moments ago, Max Crosby's agent, C.J. LeBoy, issued a statement that Max Crosby is doing great. He'll be back better than ever, and he'll be the game wrecker. But meanwhile, the Raiders have Max Crosby back in their possession. The Ravens need to move on, and Max Crosby now needs to figure out where he's going to be playing in 2026 as he continues to recover from what was said to be a significant knee injury.
Looks like he will be a Raider in 2026. And what a weird situation to wind our week down with Max Crosby and the Baltimore Ravens. By the way, the people who are in the rogue camp of, oh, it's got to be this Dr. Cooper guy for the Cowboys. He's the one, he's tampering to help the Cowboys get Crosby. Nah, man. That guy, he did my home surgery. He did my sister's knee surgery. He's a good dude. The best doctor out there. Any athlete, namely professional athletes, they're going to Dr. Cooper for their knee. And that's a guy that if he's saying, hey, there's something wrong here with Crosby, maybe. I don't see how what the Ravens could have found about a torn meniscus. Like, you knew it was torn. What they could have found to decide that Crosby could no longer be in the fold. I got question marks there. The U.S. won last night vicariously via Italy beating Mexico by a final score of 9-1. And thanks to that final score, the USA advances in the World Baseball Classic. Here's what Vinny Pasquantino said to the United States after Italy won.
That was unbelievable, huh? You're welcome, USA. We were thinking of you guys over at your hotel. We were thinking of you guys, so I'm glad you guys could join us in the party.
So when you get back to your phone, Vinny, what's that text message going to say from Bobby Witt Jr.?
I'm hoping he's got a room key for me at his hotel. That's what I'm hoping for.
Pasquantino had 3 home runs in the game last night. 9-1 final score. Italy makes it to the bracket, makes it out of pool play, as does the United States, thanks to the Italy win over Mexico. Thanks, Vinny. Good stuff. All right. Last 5 minutes of the show, best 5 minutes of the show. Come on, lock in. Lock in. My dasher is nearby. Let's get this bread. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Addie Bates produces the Drake Toll Show. It's time for Are You Smarter Than Drake Toll?
All righty. Curtis, are you ready?
No.
Drake, are you ready?
Because it's 7, it's marginal, right?
Yeah, sure. All right. We need to pump up the spirit in here. Curtis, what's the first category?
Science.
Science!
Ooh, this is your worst category, guys. What is the shape of your DNA called?
It's like a helix or something? Helix? Oh, I'll say helix.
Okay, Curtis said helix.
Oh.
I was thinking more like ribosome, which is not the answer, but it is a big fancy word.
All right, Curtis, it's a double helix.
Oh. Why didn't you let me answer?
Well, because you said ribosome. Okay, point for both of y'all, because honestly, I like that. All right, what's the next category?
Music.
Music!
Ooh. Beverly Hills Cop star Eddie Murphy had a chart-topping hit in December of 1985. Yeah, whatever. What was the... I almost made a joke. What was the name of the song called? Eddie Murphy had a hit. What was the name of the song? Yeah, the guy who voices Donkey. He had a song.
Well, that's how you know Eddie Murphy? Not the Nutty
Professor?
I
I also said Beverly Hills Cop. You don't listen to me.
SNL, yeah, but it's just a wild poll to put the voice of Donkey in there. As like
well, because I didn't know if you were old enough to know Beverly Hills Cop. You're from Arkansas. I didn't know if they showed that.
Wow. Beverly Hills Cop was a new movie when I was 14. In Arkansas, we get movies in Arkansas just like 30 years later. Curtis, you know the name of the song?
No.
No chance.
I only know like Will Smith random songs, but not that.
Drake, do you know the name?
No, I don't.
Party All the Time? My girl wants to party all the time. You've never heard that song.
From Eddie Murphy? No.
Yes. Oh, my God. All right, what's the next category? Disappointed already.
History.
Here you go. Aided by his 6'4" height, which U.S. president won an estimated 300 wrestling matches?
Curtis?
Roosevelt looks like he'd be fighting people. We'll go Teddy.
Teddy's a good guess. It's not Teddy. He wasn't 6'4". 6'4" presidents, I could pick between Lincoln, George Washington was close. He was up there. He wasn't 6'4". It is Lincoln. It's Abraham Lincoln.
Correct.
Yay!
Curtis, what's the next category?
Movies.
Ooh. In Apocalypse Now, Robert Duvall says, I love the smell of blank in the morning.
Robert Duvall. It insists upon itself. Robert Duvall. Curtis, you got
Do
this?
yeah.
I've got it. I know
don't
it.
know, coffee or something.
Coffee in the morning. How about napalm? But coffee's
Yes.
close.
Yes.
They taste
Love
the exact
smell
same.
of napalm in the morning.
What you?
All right, so Drake's winning. Drake's winning right now. I think
By a
he's
lot.
winning 3-0.
3-1.
I took
3-1.
back the point. 3-1. 3-1. Okay, fine. Okay, what's the final
I'm
category?
Mexico.
Random.
Random.
Which composer became deaf later in life?
Come on, Kurt. Which composer became deaf? Come on, Kurt.
Bach.
Kurt.
Oh, no.
This can't be real, dog. I can't let this slide. Your job's on the line right now.
Don't tempt Kurt with a good time.
Kurt, come on, dog. Beethoven?
Yes.
Seriously, the big German Shepherd, Beethoven? You couldn't get that?
He's not even a German Shepherd.
Also, I don't
He's
even
a
know what you're
Saint
talking. I don't even
Bernard.
know what you're talking about.
Saint Bernard.
Beethoven? You've never heard of Beethoven?
Yes.
Steve Martin movies. Addie Bates
All
produces.
right. Drake wins that one.
Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Of course I do. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This has been and always will be the Drake Toll Show.